Welcome back, guys. Tonight we've got a review of the STL FLX puncture proof insoles. There are going to be nails, there are going to be screws, there's going to be a walking test, and in the end, if all works out fine, we're going to be stepping on a nail. By the way, that is not fun. I've done that before. Don't do it. So on that note, actually, I am a trained professional. Please, for the love of God, please do not do anything you see in this video. This is very dangerous. Leave it up to me to do it. This is just for entertainment purposes. There are anywhere from 40 to 50 trained emergency services professional emergency staff on hand at all time to help me in a moment's notice. So I guess with that said, let's go check it out. All right, guys. So before we get into the actual puncture test, I'm at my friend's house. I'm gonna go for a walk in these. I'm gonna just tell you how they feel because I have never worn anything but like factory insoles. So I did take my factory insoles out, of course, like you're supposed to, even though I never do that. But for sake of this test, I am. So let's go for a walk. All right. So first couple steps do feel good. All right. Walking on the planks, coming some stairs. Feels like a regular insole. Just minuscule. Well, it's a little bit more stiffer. Nothing even remotely to be concerned about. I don't know how well you can see it, but just walking through here, stepping on little bumps and cracks and stuff. It just feels like a stiffer insole. Feels very comfortable. Not at all uncomfortable, believe it or not. I figured it'd be like walking on a board where my feet would be doing the walking and the shoes would just be moving. But it's actually pretty comfortable. Let's go step on this curb over here. See how it feels. Oh wow, that feels like I can feel the shoe compressing, but the insole, it's not moving a whole lot. I mean, it's metal, of course, but it does feel really good. I don't feel like anybody that wore these would have any sort of comfort issues. That doesn't have comfort issues with regular insoles. They don't really feel any stiffer, so I guess with that said, it's going to be my walking first impressions with them. Move on to the puncture test. Alright guys, so here I have the other insole I didn't cut. The first one, as you saw, is going to be the 1 5/8 inch nail. What I'm going to do, I'm going to put it on here, put my hands on both sides and press down really hard. And in the end, what I'm going to do is if it passes all these tests, I'm actually going to step on it in a shoe on a screw, because nails are softer than screws. So if it can make it past a screw, which in theory would be harder to get through an insole because it's got the I'm gonna call them veins, but a little thread, but it'd be less forgiving, more likely to go through at least a little bit. So guess what that said, let's try it out. Okay, looks like it bent it over. There was no puncture of that. It just bent it over. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the 2-inch nail. I'll be back in a second. All right, guys. So I'm gonna do it in a different spot. I do have the 2-inch nail. It is just slightly thicker, I do believe. I am worried this one's gonna push out because it has that really skinny head. If it fails, we're gonna redo it. So get this said, let's go get this started. Ooh. Okay, so it did push out, but it's staying against the floor, so we are good there. With that said, I'm gonna find a way to put all my weight on it, so give this another try, but so far nothing has happened. I'm gonna try to keep it centered as I can. Okay. Okay, so nothing is happening. So now is going to be the interesting test. I'm going to have the screw, because it's going to thread itself in there and you're definitely not going to be pushing that thing out. And it actually has flattened that tip quite a bit, to the point to where I don't think it would actually go through that, because that's actually really flat. So you can't see much on the insole, just a hole. But yeah, I'm gonna see if I can hammer this nail into this insole. Be back in a second. All right, so I'm just gonna see if I can just hammer it in. Okay, so no success there. Not even a little bit. So I guess I'm gonna go ahead and put a shoe on, and because that was not 275 pounds of force, I'm gonna put a shoe on and see if I can get it to push through here. And will be back in a second. All right, guys, so I've got a boot that I'm going to try to stand on straight with. I cannot feel anything. See if I can get it smashed through there, which I'm not going to be able to do it, honestly, because I can't feel enough to be able to drive it straight. Let's try one more time, because I don't think that went through. I think it curved. I'm going to stomp it again. Go to a different spot. Ooh, it actually bent the nail, so that's not going to go in. 3, 2, 1. Yeah, that's not going through. It's just bending the nail. So I guess with that said, let's move on to the screw. All right, guys, so I tried the wood test off camera, and it was not going to work. I tried doubling up on the wood to make it even more stable, but it wasn't working out. So I wanted to give it a really, really thorough test, because this is something that will definitely have an impact on your health. So I want to make sure I'm doing as good testing as I can here. So what I've done, I've gotten 2 pair of vice grips with a screw, and that is about 4/5 of an inch. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put it against the insole like this, and I'm going to stomp it, and I'm going to see if that can go through. So with that said, I'm going to get the boot on, and we'll be back in a second. All right, guys, so got it in place. I'll put a hammer under these vice grips to get this as straight as possible. Let's go and see what happens. 3, 2, 1. All right, so the screw is snapped. Uh-oh. I see it. Okay. Yeah, there's a dent there. I need to see if that metal's dented or if it's actually pierced. Before I tear this cut, though, I'm gonna do the same test with the nail and see what happens. That way we can get it all at once. So, be back in a second. All right, so we have the same insole. Has that bump there in the middle. I have again put a nail in here. And I'm gonna rest it on the hammer to make sure it's level as possible. And I did do the 2-inch nail because it is a solid base versus ribs. So I guess what I said. 3, 2, 1. Okay. So it looks like it bent. With that said, I do see a bump right there. So bump there, bump there. I'm gonna go cut these out and we're gonna see what happened. All right, guys, this is gonna be hard to see. So this is where the screw was, and it's just a little bump. I scraped where the bump was at so you could see it better, but it just barely bubbled it. That's from where the knife dug in. But that dot right there is from that. For the nail, I don't know. If you can see that little shadow right there, it's just a little valley. It did not go through. And this is from the nail, and that's from the screw, which was right there. So I guess with that said, I am going to go ahead and do the final test, which is put this in a shoe, and we're going to step on it now. So with that said, get back to the final test in just a second. All right, so no edits from this point on. I've got it set up. As you can see, I have the nail right there, piece of wood underneath it, so it won't have any cushion. I've got the orange vice grip on a handle. Again, you see how straight that nail is? That's what I want. So I'm going to put the shoe on. We're going to take a step. All right. Oh, I'm so nervous. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Well, that's a problem. Okay, so as you can guess, I'm not hurt. Looking at the shoe, it did go through it right there. Look, pulling out the insole. Sorry if my camera works terrible. By the way, I got this 11 to 12. I wear size 12. This is really tight fit. Hang on a second. Okay. Now that's I don't even see where it hit. Hang on a second. Let me take my insole out. Okay, so you can see the puncture on the bottom insole where my shoe is. I've never had this thing out before. You can see the puncture right there. So it went through the shoe, went through that insole, and then, oh man, I honestly can't see where it hit. Oh, there it is. Okay, I put my own insole on top of this one, and it's right there, this little nick right there. But as you can see, the nail bent over. So, all right, guys, I guess with that said, that is going to be my review of the STL FLX. This channel better go somewhere. That was so nerve-wracking. If you got any questions for me, put in the comments. If you want to give it a try, put in the comments. With that said, thank you guys very much for watching. You have a good night.